Okay, so as discussed yesterday,
এই
today
একটু দরকারটা বন্ধ করে দাও, বন্ধ
today
করো
we
না,
are going
মাথা ঠেকতেছে।
to continue the unit testing, and today we are going to understand one more third-party library we are going to use uh,
রাইট,
in our unit testing, and that is known as Mockito, right? Just
রাইট,
like yesterday, we did a third-party library uh, Hamcrest for the uh, decent assertion, like assert that is equal to something, right? And similarly, is the one of the more popular third-party library for the unit test is a Mockito, right? This let's understand what the Mockito is and why we are going to use Mockito, right? So let us understand the scenario whenever you have a testing some application, right? Testing some application and some classes. And generally, we using the JUnit, we are writing the particular method. The method code is executed, and what value returns, you are getting the returns. You are checking expected value or actual value both are the matched or not. Unit test work properly. That's good. And some scenario might be your test method, your business methods are calling some third party microservices, right? Let's say they are calling some microservice, maybe database, some file system, maybe some different invocation can be happen, right? And those
রাইট,
response you have to return here, right? And then you have to
রাইট,
test. What happen if you're going to test something and these services are not available? That means your test cases always fail, right? Because you are not able to call remote service, right?
রাইট,
Or your service is not working. Maybe something fail. That means your test case is always going to the fail.
রাইট,
So two scenario. I'm not going to write unit test case for those methods which are interacting to some third-party library, some database, some interface, right? So
রাইট,
this is one scenario you don't write test. That means if you're not writing a test, that means your test coverage is not 100%, not 80%, not 20%, right?
yeah,
So Mockito is the one third-party library which say, no, no, don't worry. If you want, you write your test case. Your test coverage also increase. Whenever you say you want to call some third party library, some interface, some database, okay, I am give Mockito is a framework provide, hey, I provide the dummy implementation for you, don't worry. So in this case, Mockito is just provide dummy implementation for you. So your code is not fail. Your code is going to the call remote service and they return some dummy response for you. So that whatever the business logic you written, all the business logic can be tested. To understand what Mockito say, whatever you're writing in unit test case, it's okay too. And some places you think your code are interacting some database call, some microservice call, some third party call, somewhere the some service layer call, some different layer which implementation currently might be not exist, right? Not possible
রাইট,
for me, right?
রাইট,
So in those case, if your actual method calling the actual method, that means your method not throwing any data. They throw exception might be. I'm expected result you are not getting, right? So in this case, your unit test going to the fail. So that means they always fail if I'm running on my local machine because my local machine maybe internet issue, maybe not connect to internet, maybe some other problem. That means you say, hey, I don't write this test case because this test always failing. So don't write test. But this is not good way. So we have need some alternative way. The alternative way is the Mockito. The Mockito is the one stub, a dummy implementation of any interface, you can say. Maybe interface, maybe JPA interface, maybe database interface, maybe microservice call interface, any interface, right?
রাইট,
So this scenario, we have to use some framework that provide the default dummy implementation, right?
রাইট,
So is it clear why we are going to learn Mockito? In some situation, some unit test cases, we have to not call the actual method. I'm not going to call the actual this remote call. I'm going to just call the dummy response. I'm not expecting actual response come from here, right?
So, what is the real use for this dummy?
So that I can test my business logic, right? Let's see our test cases here. We have written, this is my test cases. Here say a test cases, a call one microservice that give me the user detail, right? User. This is the one microservice that is the user detail, right? This is the user detail. I have written test. Hey, this is the user ID. User ID one I pass. Go call the microservice, get a user ID details, and check his salary greater than 500. Then response me. If salary greater than less than, then response me the particular department ID, right? So this scenario, getting user details, what are the salary detail, what are the department detail, and then return the value, right?
Right,
In this, if I writing my test case, our test case is receive the user ID, and they are going to the call microservice or some interface, but actually interface is not working available. That means here our application going to the fail, right?
right,
So that means I cannot test this line response. I cannot take uh, uh, service logic. I cannot test computation logic. This other scenario we cannot test, right?
right,
So this scenario can be tested if something possible, right? So Mockito say, hey, I play a role here. I say I am a Mockito in between that, right? Whenever you calling you get actual, don't call actual. I giving you the dummy response to you. So here our test case is not going to the call actual remote call, actual interface call. The actual calling is stop, dummy implementation given to you. So that
right,
you are giving dummy user response, and so that this scenario can be tested, right? So
right,
sometime your business logics have some lots of dependent business logic, right? Depend on the some A data, some B data, some D data. So in those scenario, we have to use this. Mockito is a framework that give you to call actual service or don't call actual service, just fake service, a dummy response. Sometimes say this is the actual word stub, right?
right,
Stub callation, not call actual method. So Mockito say don't call actual method. I give you the dummy response. Don't worry. So that all other lines you can test it. So is it little bit clear what Mockito play a role?
yeah, I would say a little bit, not like fully. Uh, so it creates a dummy environment,
Yes.
and
For your business logic, they call any something particular interface, maybe JDBC interface, maybe a gRPC interface, maybe JPA interface, somewhere they call. Those actual implementation as of now not available for you. Then your tests always fail. So here say, Mockito say, don't worry, don't call actual method. Just give me, I'll give you the dummy response for you. So that you do your running other part of the testing.
hmm.
Mockito just is the one kind of a fake implementation of your different services, third party, interface,
Oh, okay, okay,
microservice,
okay. I see.
database.
So it says that don't worry about uh, test your let's say JDBC. I
Yeah.
give you the JDBC setup. Like
Yes, yes. CHK, maybe your database is down, but that means your database down, all the database related task is going to the fail, right? Because
hmm,
application not connect to the database, right? So that means all the other business logic we are not able to test because our test
right,
case is dependent on the third party, right?
right,
So
right,
one
right,
thumb rule, your test case, please ensure that always we pass. That means you are writing some such test case that never depend on the something that can be uncontrolled to you. So such scenario where database call, microservice call, REST API call, anything,
Right.
those scenario, this Mockito play a role. Mockito say, don't give. I'm going to don't call the actual method. I'm just fake a dummy response I give you, so that key you can just play. Your test can pass, right?
Right.
It's good.
Yeah.
So Mockito is just kind of stubbing things, just provide the fake implementation of some interface, some method, something, right? So it's clear. Mockito
Yeah.
just play a role between your actual service to your tester. Let's keep this is I'm writing my test cases. This is my actual test cases, and this is my two actual microservice. Microservice one, two database call or microservice. Our test case first time going to call database and getting data, right? Again next time call microservice and getting a data, and then do some test, right here.
Yeah.
So in both cases means your tests are dependent to these two external word, one is the database, one is the microservice call, right? So
Yeah.
in these two cases, hey, somehow if database is stop, your test cases is a fail, right? If your microservice is stop, your this test case is going to fail, right?
Yeah.
Here say Mockito say, don't worry, these are not working. Don't worry, just tell me, hey, this call, this method call, don't do actual calling, just do dummy call here. And you are getting response, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, don't do actual call to the microservice. Just call dummy to me and I'm giving to response to you. Right? So here
Yeah.
Mockito is just one Java library, a framework which help us to stop calling actual interface implementation. If you're not calling actual, then what the response? Someone, some to say, right?
Right.
That Mockito say, hey, I'll give you the idea how you prepare the dummy response, right? The in whole Mockito frameworks, we are just going to learn how we can uh, fake the actual call, right? Just
Yeah.
make a dummy call. Don't do actual call. Sometime you can do actual call. Sometime you don't do actual call. Don't do. Now developer, tester have a control which method they are going to the call actual. Maybe this test case calling locally one different class method. They can call actual call because this method available, right?
Right.
Not available. Don't do actual call. So Mockito give a flavor of mix. If you want to call the actual method, do actual call. If you don't want to actual call, don't do actual call. Is it bit clear?
Yeah. It's clear now.
Good. So first thing, how you can study will understand how we can integrate any third-party library into your testing code, right? Your JUnit code, your unit test code, right? So
Yeah.
first, let's just go to the Mockito documentation. Okay, Mockito, Mockito. Just this is the official website. Go here and start learning. So notice uh, test mocking framework for unit test in Java, right? Mock means fake, not actual work, right? Mock look like that, correct? So here this is the for the unit test framework. Whenever you are writing unit test case, this somewhere you need a mocking thing, you can do is a Mockito. And these are the some basic library available. What are the latest version? And just read out something. What about this Mockito? Why it's okay? Mockito is a mocking framework that tests really good. Let you beautiful test that clean and simple. Okay, simple say, meaning that Mockito is just a mocking framework so that you can complete your framework, and lots of additional benefit. We have to just read out. I'm not going to read out, but they have support the your test driven development. Similarly, one have a behavior driven development, something they support something, and I'm not going to just read out whenever you have time, right? So here the complete dependency, we require dependency. This is the Maven dependency, Mockito core. This is the dependency you can download from Apache or something and then start playing, right? So that
Right.
means you need the Mockito as a dependency, Mockito core, right?
Right.
So you can just copy this Mockito dependency. Go, hey Maven, give me the Mockito dependency. This is the Mockito frameworks, and this is the Mockito core. This is the latest. Just click here and add this dependency. Now, whatever the latest version, this is the 580. Just use them and copy them here, right?
Right.
And just go your POM dependency and just add one more. Just like yesterday, we added this one. Add one more. So you notice whenever you adding dependency, always be rebuild this Maven project. Just you today notice if you're not running your dependency, notice a 580 rate is not resolved, right? So please run Maven clean and Maven build liver after little bit times. Now it's 580 is the resolve issue, right? That means my local IntelliJ go to means Maven application, Ambient application going to download this dependency from the official website of Maven, right?
Right.
After download, this is the path where they are stored, right? This is my home local machine where this dependency is stored, right?
Right.
So this is the one thing. That's good. Means that means your application can support Mockito. So let's this is one thing done, and here you can start playing. Now you can verify the interaction something 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 something, right? So let's do the test, okay? So setting is clear. Just add this Mockito dependency in the pom.txt one. Let's stop this and let's. I'm going to write one more test, right? Mockito test, okay? Write Mockito test, okay? So here, okay, just say hey test void test, okay? By default, this test announcement means you are going to get test unit. If you run by default, this test pass, right? Because you have not written anything. There's no any assertion. So here, what the I'm not going to develop any here database call or microservice call, anything, but this is work for everyone. Okay. So here, it's okay test passing, and now a basic example here. This is the not this is the things I'm going to test, but finally these are the syntax how we are going to write these things. Notice this is the basic thing, import something and start something mentioned here, and stop methods call means how we are making the fake call or original call they mention here, and these are the basic more informations you have to cover. So these are the main reference document. You can go here and read out the all the details. So overall, you can say these are the things we are going to learn in this course: mock and spy, inject mock and verify. Something 2, 3, 4 is the basic component which we are going to understand. What are the each and specific each and everything we're going to detail. So these are the basic documentation of the Mockito 580, right? Mockito core, and they are everything mentioned here. Library, what is the website, something, whatever, all the documentation here, right? Lots of given example. Good part, they have lots of given example. Don't worry, just invest some time and you can understand each and everything, right? So we have added this Mockito code dependency. That's good, that's good. And let's verify some behavior. So here given us some simple example. Let us example. Here given example of a list caller. So let us give a list of let's list of let's list, okay? If you say generally we create the list of new array list, right? here, right? We're creating here. So generally, this is the actual implementation. I say, hey, list dot add means you are going to add some number right here, right? And here you can say what you can say something. Now it's okay. That means here say this is the list interface and this is the actual implementation of list interface. If actual implementation have you can use. What happen? There is no implementation. No, I don't know about the what the this is the list interface. This is the list interface. They have lots of implementation. You can use anyone, but simple things. If I am not using the list implementation, where this data going to add, right? Because list say I have add method 23 data going to add. That means here we have to use something actual implementation. New array list is the actual implementation of your list interface, right? What happen? I am not going to implement this way. I am going to implement hey list list equal to I don't want the actual implementation. I want to fake implementation. Here mock implementation. So here Mockito say you can use my class to mock them. Mockito dot mock and mock just say which class you going to mock. Say here say I'm going to list interface. My somehow IntelliJ is stuck. Dot list dot class. So in this way, what are you saying? Okay, I am going to not provide the actual implementation. For this list interface, I am going to provide the mock implementation. So here, right in this bucket, or this is the static method. Notice that this is the static method of this static method. You can make use the static import, right? Static import. So now this is the static import in this way, right? So here say, hey, this is the mock object I'm created. So notice if I mock and I add 23. And what
Right.
happen? I get s out. Let's get list dot get 0. So what do you think? You are getting some data or not?
Um,
Here, if I am say actual, let's first thing. This is my actual. Okay, this is my actual. I am adding data 23 and getting. So if you run code, you notice hey list have at least 23 data means 23 I'm getting right
yeah.
because the actual implementation array data structure is given. That means the actual calling happened. It's good. There is no problem. I'm getting the list value 23, right? What happened? I'm not providing the actual implementation. I'm going to the fake implementation. Then what happened? Question. Let's test. So question is that this is the mock implementation, dummy implementation. You are getting nothing. Notice they are something. And notice you are getting here something null, right?
Right.
So question is how I can provide the mock implementation. Here edit 23, I am getting null. So here how you can provide the dummy response. One thing you learn ki how we can mock them means ki how we can provide the fake implementation. This is the fake implementation, right? Mock them. The question is that if someone going to add call add, then how my get method get the value, right?
Hmm.
So here say mock say don't worry. If you want to return some mock data, dummy response, I can give you. So for these, we have a use the concept like you say Mockito dot when this good option always say mock list. Okay, say readability is a good right.
Right.
Mocked. Okay, this is the mocked list, not actually right. Mocked list, right?
Right.
Mocked list. So here say ki whenever when mocked list dot mock list dot add when mock list dot add add, let's call 2 3, then return 2 3. So here what is saying, whenever someone going to call add 23, no, get 0, whenever call something get 0, okay, whenever say get 0, someone say get 0, then we return dummy response 23, right? So here
Yeah.
we are providing the dummy response. Means when this method call, this get 0 call, then you return 23 because user want to enter 23, right? I'm not, this 23 are not actually stored in the array list because we have a dummy. So here I am returning a fake data 23. And if you run, notice at this time we are getting the 23 is a fake record. This method get look like they are getting data from the list, right? And notice I am getting the 23 record, right? So what do you mean? Here means there, here we have learned two things. One, how we can respond dummy data. This is the one way. Just say which method you want to data dummy. For get 0, I want to get something dummy response, right? That means here say when mock dot get someone call, then return 23, right? So this is the syntax we have to follow. When mocked object, then return dummy value. Here you can return maybe 25, anything you can return 78. So this method get 0, always someone call, they return the 78, right? So here mock means any value you can return. Dummy response means any kind of data you can return, right?
So it's not like mathematics, like you can return anything.
Because fake dummy, right? We are not going to call actual data, right? Mockito is the just allow, I am going to perform add method, get method. But these are not actual method going to the call. Actual method implemented with array list, right? Our linked list, our vector, something. But here we are not initializing with the actual data. I am say, hey list, you are the mock list. Mock list means just add method you can call, get method you can call, but which method, what kind of dummy response you want, you also tell me, because mock don't know what the dummy response you want. The here say just tell me for get operation I want to dummy response 78, right?
Right.
So these two things we have learned. One, how we can create the mock object first, right? This is the mock object. Use the keyword mock and which class for you want to mock, right? And here how you can create dummy response for which method. So hey, when mock object, when get method call, then you return this dummy response 78. Whenever someone say hey get call get 0, at this time this response which I mock, this 70 fake response I am getting here, right? Here I am getting the fake response. Little bit clear how we are returning the fake response and how we are mocking the
Okay.
data.
Mock list dot add. That means I'm sending 23 or I'm receiving.
I'm just adding some, this I'm trying to call means here this is the mock object.
Hmm.
What happen if you are not assigning this? If you're not assigning this, what happen here? You are getting null point exception, right?
Hmm.
If you run this code, because list you not initialize, right? That means you are getting null point exception. Add
Right.
method, get method, because you are not initialize, right? Because might
Right.
be not initialize, right?
Right.
So you have a two option. You can go with actual implementation, or you can write new release. But I don't want to actual implementation here, right? I want mock.
Right.
So here, just mock. Mock say now the list all method, get method, clear method, all the method. This list interface, list dot clear. Okay, clear, get, size, all the method you can call. Okay,
Right.
all the method you can call, right? So this means this mock class allow all the method you can call, but they are not going to do actual anything. You have to say, for clear method, what you have to do. For size method, what you have to do. We have to set something mocking concept, right? If you not mock anything, by default they are just allow, you can call them, but that nothing will happen, always getting the zero record, no data, right? Because here you say I mock means now you can call all the method of list interface. List interface have all these methods, size, empty, add, everything, right? So
Right.
all this method you can successfully call without any kind of exception. I run this code, there is no any exception. That means mocking is working without array list, without list any implementation. We can call all the method, right? There is no any kind of exception, right? But all the value null. So here first things means we are going to make a fake implementation, dummy implementation, right? Next question, if you are given the mock implementation, question is that what happened when I am add call? What happened I am get call? What happened I am clear call? What happened size call? Currently, nothing happened. They are not going to the call actual method, right?
Yeah.
So let me one more. Here I've written, let us my calculator class, okay? And here say uh, uh, calculator, right? Calculator class we have already. Calculator equal to new calculator. This is the actual call, right? And here say calculator dot add, right? And I pass 1 comma 2, right? So whenever you call add method, they are going to the call add method whatever written here logic, right? This line, right? You get printing, right?
Yeah.
Run, that means you are getting this data. The here means our calculator actual method going to the call, right? Add method. But what add method internally, some maybe different business logic call that not available. But I want don't call actual method, I want to call fake method, right? So how to
Right.
do? So notice here they are calling x and y, right? Actual
Right.
method call, right? This method call, calculator method call, right? Calculator here say just which is the true method? Uh, 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 1 minute. F3. I say actual act, act, actual calculator method call, right?
Right.
Call with, okay. Whenever you run here this test, they always call, but I don't. Hey, calculator, just is a fake implementation, don't call actual. Actual might have some problem because actual method calling the remote service something fail, right? So how we can say I can call add method but don't call actual method? Here actual method call, right? So here I can say, hey, I have an option. I can mock. I cannot going to create actual object here. I can say no, don't create actual. I can say don't create actual. You can create the mock. Here say I am going to say, hey, Mockito, mock this result of the calculator class.
Right.
Now, if I am call this, they are not going to call your actual method add one two, but still they are not throwing any exception. The mock means now your add method is not going to the call actual, but look like here add method I call, right? Look like here add method I call, but notice I'm not getting any output, right? Actual method not call, right?
Right.
So mock means whatever the operation you doing now not doing actual. Actual calling block means ki how here my test case going to call your calculator class, right? Calculator. Here I say mock. Mock means don't call actual method, right? Just go mock and here return back. Here this add methods are going call, but he said this is the mock object. This is a mock object. I'm not going to the call actual one. No, don't call. Go back,
Right.
return here mock. Right? So now question, I am get return value.
Right.
Return value. What is the output? Add method. By default notice. What is the default value? Our expectation this return 1 plus 2 equal to 3, right?
Uh,
But they actual method not call, then what's the value? Because we are not doing anything plus, notice you are getting like a 0. Because here I say this is the mock, but we are not providing what the default value or the dummy implementation.
Hmm.
So here say before say, hey calculator, when when this is the mock object dot add someone call maybe 1 comma 2, then you return 3, right? So this is the dummy implementation you provide of the add method. Anyone call add, always you return 3. So notice previously they are returning a 0 right here. Up now they are not return 0, they are return this fake response 3. You run, notice I am getting fake response 3. Notice I am getting fake 3, right? Might be here you pass 10. Still here you pass 10. Still your method always return this 3. Let's test. Here for this these things we have learned lots of combination. Notice here still you are getting 0. Question why you are getting 0? Because you say mock when 1 and 2 then return 3. But you are passing here 10 and 2. This means this case is not match, right? Due to that they are not returning 3. Default integer value 10 0 returning, right? So here you can't say no, that means we have to again need one dummy response for 10 and 2. And that say hey 10 and 2 return 2, 12, right? So here multiple dummy response you can set for the different permutation combination.
Right.
Here you're getting 12, right? So this
Yeah.
12 is not done by this method. This add method, like the add method, this is not doing. Actual method is not called. This is the fake method, mock method. And mock method that we decide when someone call add method, what is the possible value, right? So two things here we understand. How we can mock any interface, any class, anything, right? A class or abstract class or interface. Notice here I mock the interface. This is the interface, right? We can mock them. Or similarly, you can mock your concrete class. This is the calculated simple class. You can mock them. Or even any abstract class, you can mock them. Mock means you are trying to say, I'm not going to use the real implementation. I'm just going to test the basic thing, right?
Right.
The first two things clear, how we can mock the class, our interface, our abstract class. Once you mock, what happens if someone call this add method? What happens someone call what the actual implementation? What value you give? For those you need a dummy response. Dummy response you can do using this when some mock method call, then do something, right? Till now, any confusion? How we can mock the particular interface, or when the particular method call, how we can return dummy response, fake response, right?
Yeah.
Question is that till now any confusion?
No, yeah, I got that.
Sense, yeah. What
Yeah.
Mockito play a role?
Yeah.
Mockito play a real role between the actual and the fake, right?
Right. Right.
Good. So now almost we have covered the Mockito part, right? Mockito is nothing, just small library. Say whatever your actual uh, code, you don't call your actual method. This is your test classes. Don't call actual, just call fake.
Hmm.
Because actual can be sometime available, sometime not available. But fake always available. right? Because you are
Right.
creating the fake response, right? And so your
Mm,
test always be going to cover all the code coverage and all the always be pass, right?
mm. Now, how does the fake
Mm,
mirror the actual? Because you said mirror is down,
mm.
mirror may not be available, but the fake one should have a mirror copy of the real one.
No, fake have nothing. Fake just know कि this is the one class like here calculator class. Just know कि anyone call this add method and not going to do anything. Just allow them call. Here they allow them call. Call. Just say कि this is the mock my calculator. All this method you can available here. But what the
Mm,
code written, they are not writing any code. Just dummy. So
mhm,
someone call them, just blankly return them. Here you call add method, blankly return them. But before returning, mock say, hey, you have prepared some dummy response? If yes, then I return the value. So before this line, they check any dummy response prepared. Yes, this is the prepared two response, right? The
mm.
before returning, they are going to the check dummy response. Someone return this condition. If match, they return the value. Else, default value zero of integer return, right?
Okay, okay.
Here
So,
there is no actual implementation of add method, something written here. Your calculator class have a lots of implementation, right? Lots of implementation. This
mm,
implementation are not going to provide any mock. Mock say, I know this is the just sorry. Mock say, I know this is the calculator class. Whatever this class have a method, you can call method without any kind of compiler error. But
mm,
what they return, I am always return default value. Default value of integer zero, null, string something. But you want
right,
to return some value, then you have to mock the value. Fake, prepare the fake responses.
right. Okay, so I have to tell them what the response I'm expecting.
Yes, this is
Mm,
the coming classes. We have to just understand how different case, different scenario, different way we have to prepare the responses. This is the things we have to learn in the whole cases, right?
okay, I see.
So now little bit clear what is the
Yeah,
mock. Mock means just one dummy class. And if
right.
someone call the dummy class method, what is the value you return? If you return the prepare the response, this response prepared return as they are not doing anything.
Right.
Okay, so let's the part. So this is the one part we learned ki how to mock the object. And question is that if you mock, here one thing more we have to learn now verify. What do you verify? Mock is clear. We are going to mock here
Yeah.
example list, mock list, and call the add method, call the clear method. Now, one thing very important in this Mockito is verify. What do you mean by verify? Verify means this is my mock list. I am going to verify this mock list. Okay. Someone must call this clear method, right?
Right.
Let's call clear. If I run, what they saying? Here our Mockito framework going to check this is the mock list. I'm saying verify key whatever the add method, get method you call it's okay. But you must have a call the clear method. If you not clear method, this test case going to the fail. If you run, in this case, our test case pass because we have to call this clear method, right? What
Right.
happen if someone not call this clear method? Our test should be failed because our business logic, you created mock list, you can some add and get, and later part you must return the something clean the side. This is maybe my requirement, right?
Right.
If you run
Right.
this test at this time, it will pass, right? Because you have to call the clear method.
Right.
Notice this test will pass, hopefully, right? What happened? I not this call the clear method. What this happen? If you let's run, that means कि on mock object, no one call the clear message. This verification fail. Your test case going to the fail.
Right.
Notice my test is fail. What test? Notice test is failed. Here, look the result.
Right.
Uh, what did the result say? Now here result say w- wanted not invoke the clear method. Right? Verification say I want must be called clear, but in the whole test cases you have not write the any clear method. The verification means this is just like assertion in the test cases. I am just ensuring that on mock which method call, which method not call, how many number of time call, right?
Right.
Here in the whole Mockito tutorial, we are going to understand basic three things: different variety of verify approach, different variety of preparing the dummy response.
Mm.
These two things in the whole this Mockito section, we are going to understand what are the different way to ensure that the mock objects, the particular methods call or not call, how many number of time call, for which input parameter call, what response they are returning, what response not returning, is any exception throwing, in not any exception throwing, right? The
Right.
all this possible scenario on one object generally have. So all the things we have to going to verify it's only happen or not happen.
Right.
And here we have to understand what are the different way we have to prepare dummy response or return for a particular method. Here method name is get, maybe says. Here I am calling the size method. What size return? Let's check. If you call the size method here, wait, size, I'm size, okay, size, okay. Okay, so here you may notice I am call add. They return 70. What happened? What is the size of this list? Generally, list have a size method. If I call, their size is the call, but they are not returning anything because size method is call from the mock object, and mock object I don't have any implementation, right?
Right.
So
Right.
size always be zero, right? Notice the size is the
Right.
zero here. So let me tell here that good be option. This is the size. Okay, size. This is the size, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
get. So question is that whenever size method call on the mock, I have to set some size, size one, size two, because I have not prepared the dummy response for the size method, right?
Right.
So here we have to prepare. Hey, when mock list dot size invoke, then return what? Maybe one, right? So now
Right.
here we preparing dummy response for this size method.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Mm.
someone calls size method, now previously our application return 0, now they return 1 because we prepare dummy
Mm.
response. Notice now our size give the 1, right? So this
Mm.
one not give by the actual size method. This give return given by the my dummy response prepared by here. So from here
Right.
code goes to here. No, by default mock maintain something cycle. This is the mock list. What number of response you prepare internally? Whenever here code call size, mock no ki already we have prepared response, then I return this value, right?
Right.
So this is the things basic about the Mockito. How to mocking the particular object, maybe interface, maybe abstract class, maybe concrete class.
Right.
How once you mock, you can do all the operations, all the method call on this object, and you want to ensure that key some method calls are not. Maybe like you want to say here there are two cases of verification. They say ki, hey, clear method are call not or add method are call not. So here you can say, hey, I can verify let's add method is call or not. So you can say, hey, Mockito, can you verify mock object dot add methods with with the two through or call or not, right?
Right.
Here you are trying to, okay, if someone not this calling, this will fail. Someone calling, that means this pass, right?
Right.
So here we are doing two the kind of things: mocking the things, preparing dummy response for each and every operation of this list, right? And similarly, later part you can also verify the particular test scenario, particular business logic, particular methods call or not call, right?
Right.
Maybe one time call, maybe two time call. Let's I want this add method must be called two times, not one time, right? So here say
Right.
second parameter times. Hey, this method must be called two times. I say here add verify this mock object, and two times this add method must be called. If not call, fail them, right? Now if you
Right.
run this, it will going to the fail because your add method is just you call only one time, right?
Right.
So notice our test should be failed. Let me test. Notice our test is failed.
Right.
Why we are failing? Because let's look the response. What say here say Mockito say few exceptions. List dot add wanted two times but found only one time, right? The proper error
Mhm.
message there कि our verification say we are thinking add method must be called by two time, but I find we have only called only one time. Due to that, this test is failing. That means if this ensure that this business logic call one more time again, right?
Right.
Some if you done, then it will pass. So by default here, if you specify times or not, by default times is always one. Means ki one time they are going to sort in clear method call or not, right?
Right.
So you write this way or simply say write one. Here say one. Okay. So both are the same thing. By default here inherited one time. If you run here say ki one time it call, it say one time call, no problem, right?
Right.
Here you have complete control. You decide on the my mock object the number of notice this test are failing because again we are expecting one time, but this method call are a two time, right?
Right.
So maybe you can change the value here. Let's say I change the value 24 and then let's check because I'm expecting exact 23 value. Later part we can understand how make more generic, right?
Right.
So now our test is passed, right? So here, generally in Mockito, we are going to verify the particular methods are called, are not called, how many times call, in which order call, lots of things coming session we are going to discuss, right? But
Right.
overall, the basic of the Mockito framework is only these things. First, we are going to the mock any kind of class, abstract class or interface, right? Second, we are going to prepare each and every method as a dummy response. What happen if get method call, size method call, clear method call? What would be the dummy response? You have to prepare, right?
Okay. Okay. I see. I see.
If you're not doing anything, that means they are just default value of the integer, default value of the float, default value of the string will be returned, right?
Right.
And once you prepare the dummy response and second scenario, you have to give the verification because this is dummy object. Sometime you want ki which method call, which method not call, how many number of times call,
Right.
with which parameter call, 23 call or 24 call, which parameter call, which parameter not called,
Right.
right? So these are the very basics of the your Mockito frameworks. And these are really very help when we are going to writing some service test case where one service are communicating to the multiple services, remote call, database call,
Right.
where those database call are jdbci or jpa or hibernate or microservice REST client, whatever things. Here you can just mock the response and prepare the dummy response, right? And
Right.
just verify your business logic. So till now, any confusion, any doubt about the basic of Mockito?
I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
So till now we have covered one part. Let's verify some behavior, right? But
Right.
more overall, the gist is that the same thing we are going to understand the different scenario and detail, right?
Right. Right.
Right. So now we have covered. I think we have covered this one part, verification part, and also we have covered this part. How about stubbing? Stubbing means making, preparing fake response, right? Dummy
Mm.
response. Okay.
Right.
Notice a mock will remember all the interactions. Okay. And like here say like we created the link list object, not the notice you can mark concrete classes or not just like interface. You can create the class, you can mark the interface, you can mark the abstract class, you can mark the any class, right?
Right.
And here how to stubbing means how we can going to create the dummy response. Sometime, hey, someone call get zero, then return this value. What happens? Someone can get one, might be written throw exception, right?
Right. Right.
Might be some method can throw exception, right? So here you
Right.
can say some throw exception. And similarly, hey, get one, get zero, get 99, all the things we have did today, right? Here you can say you can get zero means they return this first answer, right? Get
Mm.
one means you are throwing runtime exception, right? Get 99, no response prepare, that means they return the zip something zero, right? They return null by default, right?
Right.
Because for 3 9 we are not making the any stub, not making a dummy response, right?
Right.
Here you can say again verify. Verify means hey, verify get zero means you are verifying a get zero is called or not. This here called, at least this verification, this test case is going to the pass, right?
Yeah.
So these are the, you can say, basic about this argument. So tomorrow we're going to understand some more example here like argument match or something. But these are the basic about this Mockito, and these are the really help to writing your resource test cases, component test cases, integration test cases, right? Where your application interacting to the multiple things, right?
Right.
If like our calculator class, simple one calculator class, they are not dependent to the any other things. So this is tested by the unit test, because here we are not injecting, we are not interacting any JPA, any data REST client, right? Any microservice call, we are not not nothing. The simple class you can test from the your JUnit, but sometime your class can include some third party dependency, right? Databases, microservice, grpc call, REST call. In those scenario we have to take the help of your Mockito test framework, right?
So this is like an addition to what we
On the
did.
top of JD, yes, it is a top of JUnit, right? Yeah.
It's not like we start from zero. Like
Yeah,
that.
notice this is the just first line,
Test
testing
the mocking
mocking framework
framework.
for JUnit in
Oh,
Java.
okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Unit test. This is the one kind of unit test. Means ki one more dimension of the unit testing. This is the part
Yeah.
of your unit testing, right?
Mockito is a name of a drinks.
Yes, yes. Just name, just a mock means something dummy, fake object
Yeah.
creation.
Right. Right.
So this is the basic about, and whatever we are going to study, well documented here each and everything, right?
Right. Right.
Just my purpose is whenever you are going to learn anything, just visit the official website of that thing, and they are be clearly mention how we can learn, what are the things we have to do. So at least today we have to consider some mock part. This is no different way. You can create a mock in the two way. One is the annotation, one is the method. We're going to learn later, right?
Right.
and some verification method, some is spy and inject mock. These three things in coming classes. These are all the things about the Mockito. Apart from this, you are not going to understand any anymore. But different use case, different scenario, how we are going to use all this, right?
Right. Right.
This is the gist of all the complete. This is the whole documentation, right? This is the
Right.
detailed documentation. This is the gist of your framework, right? Mockito
Right.
framework.
Yeah.
But this is a very sometime huge. Notice whenever you are doing the test driven development,
Right.
where first approach you have to write the test cases, right? Writing the test
Right.
cases once, and if you are writing test cases, there is no actual method how your test pass, right? Here, Mockito play a very important role. Mockito say, don't worry, don't call actual implementation. I know actually this is not implemented till now, right?
Right.
So here I am going to tester going to write all the test cases using the fake implementation, right? Fake implementation is if I call this method, we are expecting this response. I call this method, we are expecting this response. I call this method, we are expecting this response, right? And we
Right.
cover all the test cases. And once all the test cases done, okay, with the fake response, a later development team say, hey, my actual implementation is ready. Okay, so I just stop my fake implementation. Hey, say run all test cases against the actual implementation, right?
Right.
If all the test cases are passed, that means your actual implementation is as per expected. If any test cases is failing, that means your actual implementation something missing, right? You have to fix them
Right.
because I using the mock implementation created my all the test cases. In the test driven development, Mockito also play a very critical role because in the test driven development, you are writing first test cases, right? If you are
Right.
writing a test cases, how to ensure that my test is passing or not passing, right?
Right.
Just create the one fake object, right? Mock
Mhm.
and do all your testing and run all your tests is passing. That's good. And just wait when actual implementation come. Actual implementation come maybe next sprint, yeah, after some sprint. You say, oh, I am just stop my mocking part. I'm going to play with actual, right?
Right.
And
So we still have to do the actual after that.
yes, actual always needed
Okay.
because
Okay.
finally you are going to test actual. Mock is just uh, overcome some challenges of the development, right? Because
Mm,
while testing, I have some challenges. I don't have actual implementation. One thing. There are
mm,
some challenges. The remote database call. Some challenges. Microservices call. Might be my setup is not ready, right?
right.
So Mockito just play a safe game for us so that our developer tester or test engineer is not stopped, not stuck. Test engineer cannot say, hey, I cannot write my test case because your actual implementation is not ready. So project manager say, hey, you can do from Mockito till now, right? You can just fake the object and write all test cases. Once my actual implementation done, you can test from my actual implementation, right?
Right.
So Mockito play very important role, some different scenario, right?
Right.
Notice Mockito, you are going to the shop, maybe mobile shop. Maybe many shopper are not just open all the mobiles and show you. Go ahead, this is the dummy. Can you just check similar behavior, similar functionality? You can give the flavor of the dummy mobiles, right? And if you look like okay, they deliver to the final to you, right? So prototypes are something pre before releasing something, right?
Right.
So Mockito is a just one kind of a middleware between the actual to the not reality, right?
Right.
They play a bridge between this actual our client and actual software provider, right?
Right.
Actual software, and until this actual software is not ready, how I can test all my functionality, right? Customer is ready
Right.
to test something. So Makoto said, don't worry, I am playing a important role. You play all testing, do testing with me, right?
Right.
I am dummy implementation of all the things, right? Once this software is ready for the deployment, just drop me and move the call all to the actual and test all your scenario with actual.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah.
So let's do basic practice. If any doubt, any confusion, we'll connect and little bit something more. We going to give some couple of example with respect to other part, right? But overall,
Right.
whole things we are going to only learn these things: how we can mock the object, how we can prepare the dummy responses, and how we can verify this. This is the only three more sections of Mockito framework overall, right?
Hmm.
This is the
Got it.
gist. You can say, I know how to write the unit test, J unit, how can I write the test cases in the Mockito? These
Right.
are the
Right.
very, very popular framework in the writing different kind of test scenario, right?
Oh, it's very popular.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's then good for the day.
Yeah, that concludes. Thank you.
Thank you.